Hello friends, it's Astro here and welcome back to Prison Architect, where today we're taking a look at the Slammer update, which has been released this week. It is a free update and it fixes a whole heck ton of things. Like a whole bunch of things. Like some really cool things that have needed fixing for some time. Like, you know, for example, where is it? It's, oh god, it's in here somewhere. Like the cameras, when you put them down, now they've got an arrow to show which way they're going to go. But the first thing we're going to do is set up the PDX launcher. Let's go with Astro. Cool, no worries. And yeah, that's fine. Cool. Terms of use, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. And we're going to log in and play the new version of Prison Architect. Here we go. And welcome to Prison Architect, the Slammer update. Let's have a looky-loo around here. Slammer update, 17th September 2019. There's a whole bunch of new items. Oh, so much stuff. So many things. So, let's dive in. Alrighty, so here we are in my test prison. This is just a little prison that I slapped together to, you know, show off what's available in the game and do what I need to do. It's got unlimited funds turned on. It's got cheats enabled. There are a few things that we need to look at as part of the startup of this. So now we do have an additional speed button up here, a 10x speed button in addition to the normal one. So that's something I used to have to mod in. That's now built right into the game, which is pretty awesome. In game, there's also a bunch of other stuff like fights, evidently, but that's cool. That's fairly normal. We've got danger up here. Day 5, yada, yada, yada. These options, normally, if I wanted to see what was going on, I'd then have to go into my reports and then, like, flip through to, all right, well, what are their needs? Where's the danger coming from? Well, now, we can click straight on here. It'll take us to needs. Click straight on day 5. There's my regime. Click straight on my money. Here's my grants. And daily cash flow. There's my finance. Here's my staff. Here's my prisoners, right? So I can click on those and get straight to the bits and pieces that we need, which is pretty awesome. In addition to that, now I've already unlocked all bureaucracy on this map, but if I go into extras, I can now get into mutators mid-game. So if I click on that, oh looky, I can turn my bits and pieces on and off, and yeah, be able to change my mutators mid-game, which is pretty fantastic, I think. There is a couple of new ones in here. Reduced dirt buildup, which is kind of nice. Just helps keep your prison a little bit cleaner. There is another one. I don't know if it's here or if it's. I think it might actually be one of the new game options. So if I go to here, yeah, okay. So when creating a new prison, there's now a jungle plot and a snowbound plot. Generate a starting plot of land that's covered in snow. Lovely. There should be another one that I don't seem to... Aha! Bureaucracy researched. So now you can tick this and you'll start a game. So if you just want to create a prison where you're just kind of cheesing your way through and doing a creative mode, you can now go, alright, well, I'll turn all of this stuff off. I'll turn on unlimited funds, and we're going to start with bureaucracy and tools and cheats, right? So you can turn those all on and then just create a crazy prison like, you know, like this one, where you don't have to then go through and spend, 15 minutes researching everything at the start of the game before you can build out things to your heart's content. And I think that's pretty cool. As we look through, there's a whole bunch of new stuff in here. There's some new options down here. So new walls and doors. We've got a new wall called Yutani, which looks pretty cool. It's basically, I guess the idea behind Yutani is that it is kind of like, you know, Alien sort of thing, where I can make a Yutani wall like this, and that'll get built down, and it kind of looks, sort of sci-fi like. There is another new door, which is called the, where is it? There's the Yutani door. There is a secure door. Okay, may as well put one of those in. Nice. So that's like a solitary door, but then it's got a food slot. so that when someone's in full lockdown, there's a slot that you can pass food through to give them food, which is kind of cool. There's a visitor door here. So that's going to be used where you've got a visitor's station set or a visitor's area set up and you want to allow visitors to come and go. But, you know, it's not for staff, it's not for prisoners, it's for visitors. I think that's kind of nice. And then there's a whole bunch of fence gates here. So if we have some fences lined up, like this, and then we can go fence gate, cool, fence gate for staff, and a fence gate for visitors, then these line up essentially the same way as normal doors do. So instead of having, you know, a gate with a stupid staff door stuck in it, now you can have a staff gate. So it gives it a bit more of a real feel to it, right? It's you wouldn't put a door in a fence like this. You'd put a gate. So cool. Those are the new gates that we have access to and the new doors. I thought there was one new door, which was a sci-fi kind of door, but I think I might have misread that. But that's fine. There is a new floor, which is a bit more sci-fi, a bit more alien. It's called Sulaco. It's only available indoors, evidently. So let's get ourselves a quick concrete building, and we can pop that here. Let's get ourselves a door to go on that. We'll just go with, I guess, let's just go with just a standard solitary door to seal off this area. And then in here, we can play with this new Sulaco door, floor, which is, where is it? Where is it? Am I not seeing it? There it is, Sulaco. Great. And that's going to look like this. Boom. Look at that. So it's got like lift holes in it and stuff like that. So you can make a full-on sci-fi prison. That's pretty cool. There's also a new grate floor, which I think would be good for like solitary cells to give them a real cool sort of feel. And there's a mud floor. So it's mud and it's free. Outdoors only. So we can make a mud hole in here. We can put our little piggies in there. Here's the grates. They look fantastic. And the mud is going to pop in shortly, and it's going to look like... Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm happy as a pig in mud. Excellent. So there's our new floor types. In the new object section here, there are a whole bunch of new things that we get access to. In addition to a regular table, we now get a small table, which is pretty awesome. So I could, have a smaller dining room for staff. Like, it wouldn't be limited by the size of a table. To go along with the table and small table, we've now got a bench and small bench, which is really beautiful. I mean, that just, to me, gives me a lot more leeway when it comes to building canteen sort of areas. Staff rooms can be made a little bit more efficiently, and we can dot smaller staff rooms in without having to waste as much floor space for that sort of thing. Bleachers are pretty cool. So if we had like a basketball court, we could have bleachers either side of it like this. We could have like a fighting pit. Oh, look at this. Yeah, okay, cool. So go like that. Get ourselves a nice little mud pit right in the middle. There you go. The gladiatorial arena has been created. We'll have some like paving stones down like this. Oh, look, see? There we go. It's the knife fight arena, and I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about what that can be. Obviously, this is the sort of thing that you would probably use with a basketball court, like a modded-in basketball court, or, just around the sides of a yard, and prisoners can just come and sit up on the bleachers and do what they need to do. Very nice. We've got some new assets here to play with as well. We've got, like, some bushes. Very cool. We can now just plonk in some trees, and they will, like, the gardeners will come out and plant those in the same way that you would... I guess it's like the same way that you would in a forestry, but you can place them individually and let them grow up, which is very nice. There is a snowy tree as well. So on your snowy map, you'll get some lovely snowy pine trees, and then palm trees, which you'll know from most maps. I think this one's got some palm trees. I cut them all down already. I think so. Or maybe I think I turned off forests on this one. So yeah, these 3 different tree types are now available to grow. Within buildings, so like in here, for example, usually you just put in a normal light, but now we've got some new light options. We have a mega floodlight for lighting up outdoor areas like this. And I tell you what, let's get some power routed over here so that we can do what we need to do and show off some of these lights a little bit better. So I think that actually needs to be plumbed directly into power. Let's do it just in case. There we go. Okay, so that should kick into gear momentarily, and we should be able to see when we hit nighttime. I'll just spin through. Oh, look at that. Look at that lovely big bloom of light that it gives us there. Let's spin through until nighttime, and we can see that in all of its glory. Further objects, we've got street lamps, which, basically does what it says on the tin. They're a lovely rotatable thing. And we can just, along a path like this, we can just have a couple of those dotted along. Boom, boom, boom. Get some power hooked up to them. Zippity-doo-dah. And then they will look absolutely phenomenal. Look at that. The amount of light that they are providing is far and above what these tiny little lights can do for us. So I think that, especially down like a main row like this, I tell you what, let's pop a few in. Let's pop a few in and see what they look like once they're in. And look, no. Okay, we've got to double up there. But we can just donk these down this road like this. We will need to plumb in some electrical power for them, as opposed to, non-electrical power. So we'll get that done. We'll get this guy here deleted. Actually, I'll tell you what. We'll show you something else off here. This street lamp, I've put it in the wrong place. I could dump it or dismantle it. Like, normally you would dismantle it, wait until it gets taken back to stocks, and then reinstall it. But now, I can double-click this lamp. It'll pick up a template for that object. And then if I scroll all the way down to here, I'll put it right next to the guard tower. Boom. And that's now in progress to relocate that. Well, because I've got instant build turned on, it just relocated instantly. But normally, it'd get marked up as in progress. It'd get put in as a job. And your workman would just come, disassemble it, put it into a box, move it to the new location, reassemble it there. You're done. It's pretty awesome, pretty fantastic. It's a really nice quality of life fix. And I think there's a heap of things that are in this new update that just make quality of life so much better. So, for example, the 10x speed button, great. I don't need to mod that in anymore. It's just done. There are other things like, for example, hang on, we'll go through the rest of these. A wall light, this is kind of nice where we can have wall lights on the walls themselves so that they don't take up the space that normally, they don't need to be in the middle of the room. They just sit there like that. It does look like they need to be connected directly though, like they're a high voltage device, which I'm not super thrilled about, I have to say. I would prefer to see these be connected the same way that normal lights are, because normal lights will just sort of connect via a low voltage link to a power line, whereas these ones need to be connected directly, which is okay, but not super ideal. So we'll dump that light there, that's fine, and we'll show that when it hits nighttime, we'll show what's going on there. Am I not running at full 10 speed? It's fine. Right, what else we got in here? We've got a shower pillar, which is kind of nice. We could have a shower pillar here, and essentially this is kind of designed so that when you want to put down, an actual shower, instead of putting just a square chunk of wall in the middle, like normally you'd go, oh, okay, well I'll have a tiled wall like this, and it's just this weird square thing, and you put the shower heads around it. No, okay, cool. It's nice and rounded now, so it gives us a little bit more of a pleasant aesthetic, a few more rounded corners that we can play with, which I think is very nice. We've got the new guard pavilion, which is huge compared to the old guard tower. Like the guard tower is like this tiny little thing like this. This guy's actually got like this sort of, walk around edge on it, which is great. The other thing that they've changed about guard towers is that in the past, when it was raining and it was outside, or if it was cold, the guards that were sitting up in the guard tower would get wet and cold and get pissed off. But that's been changed now. This is now counted as an indoor area for guards that are outside patrolling the borders of your prison, which is pretty cool. I like that. Anything else in here? There should be a couple more things. The other thing that I'm liking the looks of, and let's find my offices up here. Now, in the past, in our offices, we would just put in a regular old chair, which, you know, it kind of looks a bit dumb. It's just this weird blue dumb chair. But now we got this bad boy. Oh, looky. And you can nestle it right up to the desk like that. And there we go. Oh, it's so much better. It looks so much cooler. So I'm really thrilled about having that as a new option. It just adds another layer of, it makes it a little bit more realistic and nice. What else can we look at? Let's have a look at our laundry, which is in here. So these big old ironing boards have always been the bane of a prison architect's existence because A, they're massive, and B, they're just awful. They're non-rotatable. Now we've got these little wee ones like what you get in a hotel, and they're rotatable, right? The big ones are also rotatable. So you can have them like layered across this way if you want to, instead of across like this. So you could have like a different layout. But having a little small one here, I think that's really, really nice. So we could go ahead and say, all right, well, you know what? Let's dump out all of these. Get rid of. Could you excuse me? Stop ironing. Stop ironing. Okay, great. Let's dump out all of these guys. They're all in progress. Good. Let's get our new small ironing boards in. And boop, 2, 3. Oh, well, I still can only fit 3. I could fit one up here, I suppose. There we go. That's fine. So now we have 4 ironing boards. So I'm not sure yet if there is a reduced throughput on these or if it's purely cosmetic. I'm hoping it's purely cosmetic. I need to get into the test prison and do some testing on these to see what they look like. But that seems to be quite nice so far. My God, Locke, mate, what on earth is going on in here? Just made an absolute mess, and now Comrie's stuck in it. Jeez, these guys, what a worry they are. All right, so that's all of our new objects taken care of. The other thing that we now have access to, there's a couple of really great little quality of life things, like, so workbenches and saws, they're all now rotatable as well. So if we look at the objects for this particular room, a workshop press, usually you could only install it that way. They're now rotatable, so we can get those lined up in a different way. Same goes with these guys, now rotatable objects. How long have we been waiting for that? Right? I'm really, really happy about that. The other thing that we can do is on these walls here, like, oh, look, I want another entrance to my workshop. I want it to be down here. Double click. Oh, what type of door do you want? Great, I want to have, all right, let's have a remote door. And we'll just plop that in there. There we go. Okay, cool. So double clicking a wall just brings up the context menu for the doors, and it looks like it's still doing that fun trick where the context menus get stuck over the top of each other. So that's fine. That's still a thing that happens. Okay, fair enough. But it does just bring it up and let you choose a door, and away you go. So I think that's a really nice extra feature. What else have we got? The clone tool's been redone. So here in Quick Build, if we select clone, it used to be relatively limited as to how, like, it used to be sort of this size was the maximum that you could build. It's now been increased. So if I wanted to, I could basically clone my entire freaking prison here, which is kind of insane that I have that level of ability. Like, if I wanted to, let's go from the corner of the building here, wow, all the way up to there, I could clone that entire section just in one fell swoop. In fact, I'm going to do that. Hang on, foundations, Let's get a brick building over this side of the road. Boom. Requires entrance. Cool. Let's get a door in there. Where is it? No, they're in walls and doors now. All walls and doors are in walls and doors, which kind of, you know, makes sense. We can pop a door in. We can let that populate out, and then quick build. Oh, look at it slowly printing across. Here we go. So now quick build, I can just go donk, and boom, there's all of that done. Have another one there. And it's just going to start printing these objects in. And my frame rate's going to go through the floor. But, oh my god. Okay, so maybe don't do quite as many as what I've just done. Because it's a struggling. It's a struggling to keep up with that. There's a lot of stuff that I've just done. Oh, there was one additional object that I need to show off. I'll just wait for this to finish printing. Alright, so that didn't respond at all. I had to reload the prison. There was one more object that I didn't show off. Where is it? There's a doormat now. Which is like, I don't know if it's really useful, but it's kind of nice. We got doormats. That's kind of cool. Right, so now that we've taken a look at that, let's look at the other big thing that was changed. So there's a bunch of new objects, and that's cool. There was on hedges now, when you put those in, if you put a line in like this, instead of just being really janky and square at the edges, it should now be rounded on the ends, which, there we go. Yeah. So now we can make our hedge maze a little bit nicer, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, cool. So, now that that's been taken care of and we've run through all those new things, let's look at the big overhaul, which is the deployment menu. So the deployment menu is pretty crazy. We've now got deployment and patrols. We have blue, magenta, right? 2 different patrol routes. We can have guards, dog handlers, armed guards, and we can prioritize certain patrols with high and very high priorities. Essentially, what's happened here is a lot of people in the past have said, look, I have problems where I want to have a patrol, but I want it to, like, be, I guess, like a good example is here. You want to have a patrol like this, but then you want to have a patrol down this corridor as well. So now you can cross them over each other, right? And we're done. And we can have those 2 patrols crissy-crossing one another. And we can say, all right, well, I'm going to have a guard on this one, and this one, and this one. Cool. We'll have some dog handlers here, here, and here. Excellent. And then armed guards here, here, and here as well. And that's all like easily doable. The deployment scheduler, basically the same as it ever was. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so these guard patrols will now be able to cross over each other quite comfortably. In addition to that, we also now have, so we always used to be able to go, all right, well, I always want to have a guard in visitation. Cool, no worries. I like the highlighting of rooms and zones as well. That's, I think a really handy thing to have. But instead of going, all right, well, I want to have in reception, I want to have a guard dog here at the front sniffing people out. Instead of having to draw a little tiny patrol, right, and then assign a dog to that, you can now just assign a dog handler to a room, a zone, and maybe an armed guard as well. Cool. And then maybe a couple of normal guards. There we go. So it's the same as the way that we used to handle guard deployment to a zone, but dogs and guards, and armed guards, I should say, are now included in that sort of thing. In addition to all of that, we get a little bloom whenever someone's traveling within that area, whenever someone's patrolling within that area, to show basically how long it's been since there was a patrolman there. So over here, where this guard has just patrolled, it's all big and fat. Down here, it's all thin. So you can kind of get a judge for how many guards you need for a particular path. So let's get these up and running down here, shall we? We'll have a guard patrol up and down each of these. And I reckon we're going to need 2 guards to safely cover these off. It'd probably be doable with 1, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to do 2. So we can see them sort of Pac-Manning their way along. There we go. They're kind of working together at the moment, which is not the best. I'd prefer if they split up a bit more, but that's fine. That's totally fine. Or maybe we can remove one of those from each. We'll just see how it performs with a single guard. You know, look, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's sort of, it's not too long between guard interactions. Or maybe we can add one at the bottom. We'll hopefully get them staggered a little bit better. No, it doesn't seem like it. That's fine. It'd be nice if we could do that. We also do have a priority patrol. So let's say that this blue patrol here, that's very important. So we get the little high priority icon. We can maybe have a 3-notch icon to say it's highest priority. And then clicking again sets that back to a normal patrol. So the idea behind that is if you have lots of patrol routes across the prison, you can say, look, these ones in the prison blocks, they're very important and I need those patrolled. If these ones, like if there are guards that are going on breaks and stuff, they can let those go and I can, you know, ignore those for the time being, but these ones always need to be patrolled. Just so that you can have a bit more control over where your guards are being used and where your prisoners are being monitored. That's also very nice. I think there's like a tooltip here as well. No? Okay, cool. Good. So there you go. There's our new deployment system. All of the area deployment is pretty much the same. Prioritize area. Sorry, that's one other one here. So I want to prioritize reception. We get the little speed up icon there to show that that will always be prioritized in the event that things are going on. And the idea behind that is when I then go, all right, guys, it's time for a shakedown. Prioritized areas shouldn't be abandoned. Yeah, okay, so these guys are still stationed. The armed guards, I don't think I even have any armed guards in this prison, but that's fine. And the same goes for certain work items. So, for example, if I had door controls dotted across this prison, and I could probably quickly slap those in, but if I had door patrols, you know what? Let's do that, actually. Here we go. Let's go objects. No, it's utilities. Door control system. Cool. We'll have one here. We'll have two, actually. And let's get those hooked up to a bunch of door servos that can be like, I don't know, here and here, and here and here, and these utility rooms, and this guy, and that, and that. Okay, so because when you've got door servos set up, it's always preferable that those door servos be manned first and be looked after at all times. So what we can do is when we connect these bad boys up to all of these, like this and this and this and this one and that one, here we go. And we're going to need some power on these as well. Good, that's done. Right, so we've got these two guards set up and lined up on these door control systems. If I now execute a shakedown, well, looky, these guys stay where they are. So that if you have a prison that is totally reliant on remote doors, and all of the, you know, all of these guards need to be manning those consoles to make sure that your guards that are doing the searching can move throughout the prison, that is now not broken. There have been plenty of times in the past where I've been caught out, where I've made a totally locked down prison, and the guards that are running the door control system have gone, oh, cool, I'll go in and do that. And then they run out of the door control system room. They get stuck against the first remote door because they can't open it, because you can't open a remote door unless the door control servo is triggered. And you get this situation where people are trapped in the prison, those guys are trapped outside the prison, and no one's opening any doors anywhere. So that is now totally fixed, and I'm really happy for it. I think that is an excellent improvement. And one last thing. The coolest new feature, as far as I'm concerned, is, you know, we've always had name in the game. So, for example, whenever I play Prison Escape, you see me pop up as Henderson because that's my name in the game. I paid for that tier when the game first released, and you know what? I'm happy. I was happy to give a little bit extra to be a part of this game when it was running through its alpha phases. But now, guards all have names. So there's Amara and Bob and Hunter, and such forth. There's Trip and Frank. Cool, no worries. So guards all have names. In addition to that, I was doing a little bit of poking around, and I found out that, you know, dog handlers have names as well, but they actually put out a Twitter thing a while ago where they said, hey, send us the name of your dog, and we'll add that to the game. So they've scraped all of that and put all of these names in, and check it out. Here's my old dog. My doggy Lebowski. And I think over here somewhere, there was... Is it there? Chili. That's another one of my old dogs. So both Chili and Lebowski have made it into this game, and I couldn't be happier. I'm really, really thrilled about that. Thank you, Paradox, and Double 11 for adding that in. I think that's a really, really nice touch to engage with the community, and yeah, I think that's really cool. So friends, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this little update video of the Slammer update. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what you think about what's been added to the game and what you think could still be added to the game. But personally, I think that this is a really good update. There's plenty of things here that make me very happy. So, cool. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.